Hello and welcome to another Nimble video tutorial. Well, many of you don't know, I've got a lot going on in my personal life. My wife and I just had our first baby, so I haven't had much time to really devote to doing videos, and the last video I created was really short and sweet to show off the dynamic desktop or dynamic dashboard that I created. So I got an email and some feedback that I should show a little more on the demo, so I'm going to try to provide a little bit more detail and show cross-platform or cross-browser support. There was a really interesting article on LinkedIn that I shared about type A and type B personalities, and I guess the funny part about it is I'm totally a type B personality, misconceived and because of my laid-back nature that I don't understand the value of working hard. But the truth of the matter is I'm just a humble person, and I take pride in my work, and I don't have to do much bragging about it. I think the code should speak for itself, and hopefully these video tutorials do just that. They're not about it's not about my ego. It's about using real logic, real code, giving you some entertainment, maybe crack a few jokes, and hopefully bring a smile on your face. So moving right along, this dynamic dashboard was created by creating a series of zones. The zone is this complete nimble dialog. It is digested and pushed into the view, and within it it has 3 targets. So I took it 800 width by 260 height surface, and then divided it up by 100%, 50%, 33, and 25%, so that you have the corresponding drop zones for a drag drop interface. It will size its width by 85% of the screen, so that it is somewhat responsive to whatever desktop it's being displayed on. Once the zones were created, I created a nice toolbox which features the tab control that I was just finished testing. I digest images inside the tab control that can be dragged out and dropped into any of the target zones that I created. All the other rest of the work is triggering high charts and the beauty of the nimble design and the use of the design pattern. The one thing I hope you notice in every video that I've created is that the design pattern is repeatedly allowing me to create bigger, more robust, more accurate applications with every video. It uses 100% reuse of code. Nothing is wasted. Every time I create a new video, I'm usually borrowing from the pieces of previous videos. And as a result, I have a new folder that I created, Project Factories. These are all the factories that have been created over the course of the last few months that I can reuse for various new applications. The featured ones would be the items, collections, menu, message box, and I believe there's one more, maybe the get data factory. All these factories were just brought in, imported into the project, and allow me to perform all the tasks needed to make that digest dynamic dashboard work. That all being said, let's get on with the show. I've got all the browsers loaded up. I took the liberty of, so that I wouldn't take so much time, I took the liberty of just laying out these zones for this purpose, so you can just take a look at the drag drop interface. This is IE 11. I think the only issue I saw with IE 11 was that flicker. You may have noticed when the toolbox animates open, there's a little flicker going on. I took the liberty of adding a little bit of polish on the mouse over event for each one of these charts. but all the other functionality should work perfectly. So we're going to drag in a series of charts and check performance in IE. Once all the charts are loaded, you'll see it responds really quickly in IE. And someone asked me to give a look of how long it takes to refresh all the data. So I'm going to click refresh on these charts so you can see the speed. Now, refreshing data from a server, of course, is dependent on the async call and how fast your server will respond back with the data. But once the Nimble platform and HighCharts has the data, you can get a really good look at how fast IE 11 performs. We'll move right along to Firefox. Try to do the same thing. You'll notice Firefox animates pretty smooth. I did notice that Firefox does have one glitch in the, if you can notice, the drag over image is not being drawn properly in Firefox. That's a browser related bug. Firefox also has a few other inconsistencies, but I'll go over them after the demo. So if we pull in a bunch of charts, you'll notice they all seem to work perfectly. You can zoom in on a given chart because it is HighCharts. You can see all the data points that were collected. Reset the zoom. And if I trigger a refresh, you will notice the speed at which HighCharts and which Nimble is able to render this dashboard. Okay, Microsoft Edge. Microsoft Edge also has some inconsistencies around the drag drop events. If you haven't tried to implement drag drop in any of your web applications, again, I'll go over the differences after I show this demo. So you can drag on any, there's many custom charts. I don't know if I did that one already. This is Microsoft Edge. HighCharts works really nice across all browsers because it uses old school SVG for its rendering. You'll notice it seems pretty responsive. Okay, we all know all web developers love Google Chrome browser. You've seen this before, so we'll just make this quick. This is Google Chrome, drag drop, check the refresh speed. Responsive as expected. And my personal favorite, Opera. I think Opera performs a notch better for some reason. Let's see what chart we're going to use. All the redrawing and the refresh works perfectly in Opera. So all browsers seem to work perfectly fine using drag drop and HighCharts implementation. Inconsistencies that I found across browsers is centered around the data transfer object. Microsoft released an update saying that this feature. This object has been deprecated as of Microsoft Edge, so the data transfer object is no longer being supported. I don't know why. They said they opted to use the clipboard data object instead. When testing, I noticed that the data transfer object also doesn't work with IE 11. So I wrote my own support for transferring data from one element to another, so I don't have to write any browser dependent code. I did have to make a modification for Firefox because its data transfer will not, you have to use a data transfer object to trigger a drag drop event. So my implementation blends well with these inconsistencies and should not have any failures in the future. I also noticed one of the other inconsistencies I noticed was also with the Firefox. I showed you when you drag the image over, it doesn't draw the actual image that you're dragging, as well as a inconsistency with the right click event. So when you were to try to trigger this right click menu, it was firing a few more events that other browsers do not. Other than that, all the event firing and performance across all browsers seem to work. I hope I made sure I provided enough detail in this video to cover any questions anyone might have or solve any misconceptions about what Nimble is capable of and how well it performs. Thank you for watching.